Afternoon, colleagues. Numbers are still rising, but we have a full agenda this afternoon. And I think we should actually start and get the proceedings going. So on behalf of the Academy of Science of South Africa, ASSAf, good afternoon and a very warm welcome to everyone joining us today. We sincerely appreciate your time, your interest and your participation in this important conversation. So today's webinar marks our 7th AI Lekgotla, as we name them, following 6 very successful engagements that have been brought together by different voices across the scholarly policy and innovation communities to reflect on the evolving implications of artificial intelligence. So this webinar forms part of the digital transformation activities within ASSAF's scholarly publishing program. And my name is then Susan Veldsman. I'm the manager of the scholarly publishing program at the Academy of Science of South Africa. So the AI Lekgotla series aims to facilitate discussions and debate on trending AI topics, while also informing the scholarly community about emerging developments, opportunities and challenges in this very rapid and evolving field. As AI continues to reshape research, education, publishing, and society more broadly, platforms of these are becoming extremely important for collective learning, critical engagement, and knowledge exchange. So we encourage your open participation today and thoughtful discussion throughout the session. And we hope today's engagement will be both insightful and stimulating to all. I would like to just welcome then all our panel members. We are forever grateful that you will join us this afternoon. But before I do so, I just want to mention the most important practical matters, like please keep your microphones muted, please use the chat function, and note that we are recording this session, and we do hope that you don't have any objections against this activity of ours. So this afternoon, we actually have an incredible lineup of speakers, Ms. Tezira Wanyana, Mr. Herman Blackie, Professor Sioux McKenna, Professor Aslam Fataar, and then I am going to hand them all over then to our very capable hand of Professor Terence van Zyl, who will be our facilitator for this webinar. Prof, so I'm handing over to you, and please introduce our speakers to the participants. Thank you very much.
Excellent, excellent. Hope you all hear me clearly. I'm very excited about this opportunity for us to actually discuss what I think is probably one of the foremost topics in the minds of humanity right now. This idea behind artificial intelligence and how far we're going to take this. And I think sort of a watershed moment is around about December this year, which is scary to think that you're having a watershed moment every few months. When we really were introduced to this idea of agenetics, agentic AI. And so I'm quite excited about this. I'm quite excited to hear about the various viewpoints of our participants, to see where they're coming from. I think the way I would like us to take this forward, because we're going to have presentations by each of our participants, while they're busy loading up their slides, I will read their bios, sort of introduce them during that point just before each one of them speaks. So it's kind of fresh in your mind who the speakers are, but just generally, we have individuals from across academia, from across viewpoints on this topic. We've got some hype men, we've got some pragmatists, optimists and pessimists in the panel. And we're hoping to get, well, I don't know if any of them are pessimists, but hopefully we'll get some good views from all of these individuals. So I think just sort of setting the stage and my kind of feeling on this, this space, back in about 2003, well, precisely 2003, I walked into Prof Yana's office. She was then to be my master's supervisor. And I said to her, I want to study artificial intelligence, specifically agents. And she said to me, okay, that sounds good. And there was this thing at the time, it was called additive manufacturing. at that time, we thought the only way this was ever going to happen is we were going to have to use this additive manufacturing over the internet. Nowadays, everybody can get hold of a copy of this and put it in their room, a 3D printer, basically. But then it was really cool. So we were like, well, we're going to do this additive manufacturing, and we're going to introduce this resource negotiating agents. And we were looking at platforms like the Java agent development environment. There was a thing called agent communication language, FIPA ACL, whole lot of pieces that we were pulling together. In any case, the story of all of this is that about 2.5 years later, I handed in a single agent that could activate a 3D printer over the internet. And I was awarded a master's for that, a master's in computer science and AI. And the reason why I'm smiling a little bit, because I feel like a few of our panelists and many people in this room would be like, how the hell did somebody get a master's for what I could effectively do right now over the weekend? Many of you would be able to take the current tooling that we've got, the agentic tooling that we have, and build this app over the weekend. But at that time, it was a different space, and so, as you can guess, I don't have a lot of thunder yet to steal from our speakers. I think our speakers are very familiar with the space of agentics, and I think we're going to get some nice viewpoints in terms of how fast this technology has moved forward. I want to read one little quote before we head in. This is Microsoft AI CEO Mustafa Suleyman. I think it was over the weekend or so. He said this, and he said, "I think that we're going to have a human level performance on most, if not all, professional tasks. So white collar work, where you're sitting down at a computer, either being a lawyer or an accountant or a project manager or a marketing person. I think some people even feel an academic. Most of these tasks will be fully automated by AI within the next 12 to 18 months. When I read a statement like that, it puts my hackles up. I immediately want to deny that that's the reality. But on another level, when I look at how rapidly this transition has happened from, when I did my master's to the fact that someone could effectively achieve my master's, I mean, within a day, less than a day, someone could achieve way more than what I did over 2.5 years. In the current environment we find ourselves in, there definitely is need for us to increase our awareness, increase our caution around the space we're about to find ourselves in. Do I believe, Suleiman? On some levels, I think that this is my feeling on this, that a person is not a bunch of tasks, but we have a purpose when we do work. And so you might be able to automate some of the tasks, but you won't be able to remove the purpose of the individual. But I think at this point, what I would prefer to do is to hand over to some of our panelists, give them an opportunity to talk us through this. And we're actually quite fortunate in the sense that our first panelist, Ms. Wanyana, is somewhat of an expert in the background behind agents and agentics, how we got to where we are today, actually. And so it'll be quite exciting for us to sort of get a feel of how this technology has progressed over the last X amount of years and how we find ourselves in this specific space where we are right now, where we have such a topical discussion to unfold. So maybe Ms. Wanyana, you can take over the presentation, and while you are doing that, I can just introduce you, if that's okay. Okay, so our first speaker is Ms. Tezira Wanyana. She's an assistant lecturer in the Department of Computer Science at the Faculty of Computing and Informatics, Mambara University of Science and Technology, MUST. She's also a PhD candidate in the Department of Computer Science at the University of Cape Town, where she recently submitted her PhD thesis. You're on the edge. You're on the edge of getting that title change. Her research centers around cognitive agent architectures, ontologies. These are very exciting words to those of us that have been in the space for a long time. Ontologies, Bayesian networks, and neurosymbolic AI, with a strong focus on the future of systems that can reason, interact, and act with increasing autonomy. She's also the founder of Wanyana.Africa, a company focused on the custom development of intelligence software for real-world use cases. And so I hand over to Ms. Wanyana, and she can take us through what exactly is this agentic AI that I've been talking about.
Thank you so much, Professor Terence. In the next round about 10 minutes, I'll be talking about where we're coming from, what agents are, what agentic AI is, and I will state some patterns of agentic AI systems that I found, and then I'll conclude. A good place to start is indeed the beginning, and we all know by now that AI did not start recently. It has gone through years of theoretical and technical advancement, and it has also seen some winters. But with each surge that we can see on this little graph that I picked from Yogeshi's paper, we see that more machine independence and greater ambition has been realized. So if you look at the foundational era, where we're mainly talking about, or they were mainly talking about symbolic reasoning and heuristic search, and maybe some abstraction for neural nets, that era also gave us some behavioral test for machine intelligence, which we keep referring to as the Turing test up to today. And that era was followed by expert systems in the 60s, like Dendral and Mycin. These were rule-based systems, they were knowledge-based, they had some form of inference engines. And then we had some sort of AI winter after that. And the winters are usually because we have, or the teams have overpromised and underdelivered. And so at that time, we realized that hard-coded or hard-engineered knowledge is not what helps us realize the capabilities that we are looking for. And so at that point, adaptive systems started to become the conversation, and that gave birth to what we had, or what was there in the 90s, which is intelligent agents. So the intelligent agent paradigm at that point started in the late 80s and the early 90s, focusing on perception, on reasoning, on action. And these systems were built around architectures like the beliefs, desires, and intentions architecture, the soul cognitive architecture. And we see these architectures up to today because some agents are being built on variations of these architectures. And then later we see an exciting time of statistical machine learning and deep learning, and notably the transformer architectures that give birth to the era that we are in right now, which is the agentic AI era. So we've all witnessed this turn where we are applying mainly large language models, but I should say that it's not the only thing out there, but it's mainly large language models because of their flexibility in planning, in tool use, in single and multi-agent environments, for us to be able to realize very, very complex objectives that we thought were not feasible a few years back. I would like to suggest that maybe we should actually say modern agentic AI, because like we see from this graph, agentic AI systems have been around since the 90s, and the capabilities of agentic AI that we are talking about at the moment have been the same that have been thought about a decade or more ago. So at MUST, there is a little tool called MISA. In this tool, prospective students and current students, it's a reactive RAG tool, so students can find information about MAST quickly, and it has significantly reduced phone calls and email inquiries, especially during eras like now when people are trying to apply for courses. And it has a knowledge management system that is constantly updated by designated officers at MAST. And it's reliable to a good extent because it bases all its answers on what is in the knowledge base. Otherwise, it will say it doesn't know and directs the person to the next office. But imagine if MISA is able to independently tell which courses a student can qualify for, apply for those courses, or go ahead and help this, just fill in the application form and go through all the necessary administration procedures with full automation and maybe minimal intervention from the student, instead of merely answering questions about what can I do, where can I find this, and what is the procedure for this. Imagine if MISA can go ahead and do those things. That is what we are calling agentic AI right now, where the systems have some level of autonomy or a good degree of autonomy. And this does not just apply to tools like MISA. There's so many areas where people are looking for tools that no longer just answer questions, but can independently plan and execute on tasks. For example, AI research assistants, autonomous customer support, and other areas. Long ago, maybe if you've stumbled into a computer science class that had AI as a course, you might have seen this. But long ago, Stuart and Novick gave us a simple definition of what an agent is. Anything that interacts with this environment through sensors and reacts or acts towards this environment using actuators. And there's, of course, some processing there in between. So it's not mainly about just taking in something and bringing out something. And if you read this classic, you realize that they also proposed some agent program architectures, like the interesting one, which is the model-based, goal-based agent, that shows us that goal-directed behavior did not start yesterday. So goal-directed behavior is one of the things that we talk about when we talk about AI agency, and it's been around for decades. They also talk about what kinds of environments agents participate or deliberate in. And an interesting one that we are talking about today is the single agent versus the multi-agent task environment, where we see agents being competitive or collaborative to achieve certain tasks. I just single out that one because it's what we hear about most in the agentic AI system era. So what exactly do people mean when they say agentic AI systems? These are systems that are fully autonomous. They operate independently over extended periods of time, and they use various tools to accomplish their tasks. And right now, if you look at literature on agentic AI, they're drawing a line between traditional agents and agentic AI systems. And the line is mainly around how much intervention the human is putting in. So with traditional AI agents, there are some human-defined parameters, maybe well-scoped tasks and things like that. But with agentic systems, there is a lot of independence, deliberative planning, dynamic memory, tool usage, continuous environmental input, and of course, the complexity of the objectives and goals is a little higher than what we saw before. I came across this paper that was showing a distinction between traditional AI and agentic AI, but it also shows a distinction between classical agents, reinforcement learning agents, and also agentic AI systems. And like I said earlier, the major distinction is around autonomy and goal-directed behavior. Agentic AI systems have very low actually low to zero human intervention, high adaptability, and they work in complex environments that are dynamic and very context aware, and all these other characteristics. So in a nutshell, the characteristics and capabilities of agentic AI that we think about when we say agentic AI systems at the moment are autonomy and goal complexity, the complexity of the environment that the agent is deliberating in, independent decision-making and adaptability with very minimal human intervention, continuous learning as the agent interacts with this environment, planning, acting, and carrying out multi-step acts. Now, if you look closely, these characteristics have been around before. People have been talking about these same things. Again, what is making this a little louder than before is the degree of independence, the degree of autonomy, the complexity of the goals or objectives that agents are achieving right now, and of course, the level of planning and execution that we are seeing at the moment. There are some generic architectures. A common one is the multi-agent system architecture, where so many agents are collaborating to achieve a certain task. Sometimes it's a competitive or adversarial kind of environment. And then we have a hierarchical case where there's a high-level agent somewhere that defines some sub-goals and then gives them to low-level agents to execute them. And of course, the goal-directed modular architecture, where the agent function is just divided in 2 modules, and each module is a specific part of the task that the agent is supposed to achieve. While I was looking through literature, well, this is a very new area, so people are still thinking, the ecosystem is still evolving. But I saw that there were no universally accepted design patterns, and also this paper said the same thing. And so I went to the Anthropic page and I found something. The major building block of agentic AI systems, or what I prefer to call modern agentic AI systems at the moment, because again, we have agentic AI systems that have been around before. The major building block is the augmented LLM. The LLM has augmentations like retrieval, tools, and memory, and different protocols that help with implementing these agents, and communication between agents, and access to other tools and things like that. So at the end of the day, when you see modern agentic AI systems, the major building block is going to be LLMs, and they are going to have at least one of these patterns, which, if you look closely, will map into the generic approaches that I introduced in 1 or 2 slides ago. So in the interest of time, I will just draw your attention to just the orchestrator workers workflow. So if you look at the Anthropic page, I went to the Anthropic page because in literature there were not so many universal agreement on what design patterns we have. So I found these design patterns on the Anthropic page, and they try to put a distinction between workflows and agents. But right now, what I want to talk about is an orchestrator worker, where you have some sort of pattern where there is a central agent that breaks down tasks for the worker, and then for the worker agents, so there are some other worker agents in the environment. And then later, the synthesized results are put together and given as output. I found this interesting because I had already looked at this example from the Stanford AI Lab, or virtual AI lab, where researchers allowed the entire flow to be handled by agents. So there is a PIAI, and then there are research scientists that are handling all the work. And so literally humans are standing on the side and just being observers in the whole process. Now, this is a research process, and they had some major outputs. They applied it to generating ideas for COVID-19 vaccines. and it was able to give good results in a very short time. And so at the end of the day, you realize, like Professor Terence was saying, the work that we were taking so long to do, AI agents are being able to do it in a very short time. And if you see the patterns that I provided before, most of the AI agent environments are going to be fitting in at least one of these patterns. It could be a chain where one agent is giving output to the next agent, and that would be the input to that agent. It could be routing. It could be working in parallelization, whereby there's some sort of sectioning or voting. At the end of the day, we want the best solution to apply. Or it could be one agent providing answers and another agent evaluating those answers before they are given out. So in conclusion, the story is just continuing. It didn't just start yesterday. Agentic AI extends traditional AI with more complex goals. Agents used to have goals before. Goal-directed behavior was around before. But agents now have more complex goals and objectives. They have more autonomy, a higher degree of autonomy. They are doing all the planning independently. They have access to memory and tools, and of course, they're using a shorter time than we are using. Modern agentic systems are combining large language models with workflows and environment feedback to accomplish complex goals. And we have different architectural patterns. It's not a one-size-fits-all. And it depends on the problem domain and the kind of tasks that we are trying to follow or to solve. Thank you. Over to you, Professor Terence.
Ms. Wanyana, thank you so much for that interesting insights over there. And certainly gives us some very academic view on the space that we're moving into. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like genes, like over time, you know, like fashion never changes really. It just goes through these cycles, and it feels to me like on some level AI is like that, but on another level things are changing. There's certainly fundamentally increased autonomy, increased expressibility, better ontology, better knowledge bases, these types of things that have come into place. And maybe the person to really sort of take us into what that difference is, what's so exciting about the space that we're in right now is Mr. Blackie. So if I can just ask you to bring up your slides while I introduce you, that would be really, really great. Okay, so our next speaker is Mr. Blackie. He received BEng and MEng degrees in computer and electronic engineering. So he's coming from the other side. For us scientists, he's one of those from the other side. From Rhodes University, Potchefstroom, South Africa, 2015 and 2018. And he's currently pursuing his PhD in computer engineering at Rhodes University, where he's involved in both undergraduate teaching and postgraduate supervision. He also runs his own consulting business. And as you know, nowadays in the modern AI space, it's almost essential that you be an entrepreneur at the same time. Got to be trying to become a founder if you want. He also, this business of his is around AI-driven agentic solutions to help organize streamlined business processes. And at NWU, he's involved in a pilot program introducing MindJoy, an AI-powered STEM learning platform to enhance teaching and learning for undergraduate engineering students. And so, Mr. Blackie, can I hand over to you, and you can take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Professor Terence. And thank you for the introduction. And Tezira, thanks for that great presentation. So I think I'm going to take whatever you presented and let's hype it up. I know Professor Terence said that there are some hype men in the panel, and I think I'm one of those. So I would like to take you to a moment earlier this year. And this was on the evening of 5th of March in Stellenbosch, where I attended this seminar presented by the Open Letter. And the person that looks almost like Rassie Erasmus there, but it's not, His name is AD Pinar, and he currently runs a AI venture studio in Stellenbosch called Ubundi, where they're building, let's say, agentic systems to benefit humans. And at that specific evening, he dropped this idea that really made me think. And he said, how about where we have a world where humans are no longer the main consumers of digital systems and software, but we have personal agents that act on our behalf? And this really triggered a thought where I said, okay, but let's imagine a world where we have that. A world where we can just chill on the beach, maybe, and you have an AI agent, you hand it over, that AI agent has access to your emails, attend meetings, review reports, check dashboards, and this does everything for you. Like nothing could go wrong, but hey, imagine a world like that. And where we no longer have apps or websites or systems for us as people to use, but this whole ecosystem is changing, and we're building tools and software and systems for AI agents to use. And that sounds crazy, but some of the ideas is, imagine you have something like, let's say, an app like this that looks like WhatsApp, where you have people and agents living in the same space. Like in the screen in the middle, you have a chat interface with all your AI agents that can do anything for you. And on the far right, you have something like an AI agent discovery app store where you can literally go and you can discover agents. You can discover something like a courier service, like this made up Track IQ, where you can just chat with your courier service about where's your parcel, scheduling a pickup, something like that. If you need to attend an event, how about you chat to an event pro company and they send you your ticket to the event? And some of these things might sound far off, but these tools are actually being shipped. And I want to show you this very cool use case of one of my friends in Stellenbosch, where he built an AI agent for his company. So this is a screenshot from his LinkedIn profile from Chris. And he built an AI agent called Rassi. Okay, how appropriate. But anyway, so he messaged Rassi on WhatsApp and said, "Hi, Rassi, the team has been working very hard today. So let's order some beers for the team and some Kit Kats." He gave him the website to go and log in, let's say to Pick and Pay. And he said, "This is the order." The AI agent comes back and said, "Hey, Chris, good news. He's been working on it, logged into Pick and Pay, added it to the checkout, and then
Sorry, we lost your sound
We
there.
lost you.
yeah, I saw someone accidentally muted me. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so then basically this agent went and he placed the order and he sent an update. And there you can see the photo of Pick and Pay ASAP arriving at his office with his delivery. And now this whole world started by someone very recently who unleashed onto this world this chaotic agent called OpenClaw, where you basically give this thing access to run whatever you want, and the agent can decide what it wants to do. And just imagine what that can do for you. And even though it can be very helpful, but it can also be very destructive. But now people started to build on top of these, and they've launched something like the Hermes agent, where it's an agent that learns how you interact with it. It learns your perspectives, it learns your ideas, what you like, what you don't like, and it grows with you. And what they even do is they give these agents the capability to, let's say, to dream at evenings, so that process the daily interactions to store it in long-term and short-term memory. And even Google started with a Gemini workspace agents for us to start building these agents on enterprise level. And just earlier this week, what we saw is, if I play some of these snippets, that we have a trip planner, for example, that Google presented, where you take an image of, let's say, something you like, and you send this thing off and say, "Hey, I want to go on a tour and prepare a tour for me that's based on, let's say, this coffee shop idea that I like." And the agent would go and would go and finish up and complete that plan for a trip for you. Or the other agent that Google demonstrated was, let's say, for the people in Stellenbosch and Cape Town who can't ever find any parking spots. What if you're on your way to an event and you can just ask your AI agent to reserve a parking spot for you on your way to your event? And then the last demonstration was, let's say we'd like to book a flight, and instead of let's say typing in your passport every time, you have an AI agent that already went and looked at your passport in a file system, wherever that is. It retrieved the information for you, and it can fill it in for you on the spot. And this is some of the tools that the people are busy building. And with this massive explosion, with this agentic world and this world of open clause and the Hermes agent and Google agents, people started to flock towards, let's say, buying mini computers to host all of this infrastructure in, because we're not living in a world anymore where you buy a PC for yourself, but you're buying PCs for your AI agents to live in, so that they can go and do whatever needs to be done, and you can just release them onto the world. Then also in this week, and specifically what Anthropic launched, was a bunch of AI agents for financial services, where teams, let's say at PwC or KPMG, can have access to some of these financial agents that can go and run independently. And literally last night, Google launched a new agent called Co-Scientist, which is a multi-agent AI partner tool that can help researchers, specifically in life sciences, go and explore the vast amounts of literature, come up with new hypotheses, and then giving the scientists the ability to work through all of this literature to find new solutions to their fields. And the scariest thing, if I put up this graph that's been circulating, let's say here on 25 of February of this year, is that this graph tried to demonstrate, if we took, let's say, more or less the population of this world, and they looked at who has been using all of these AI systems. And each one of those dots represents 3.2 million people. And as you would see, I think the legend is a bit small. I tried to bring it up, but the gray blocks is basically 84% of people who's never used AI at all. Like out of 8.1 billion, 84% has never used an AI tool or a chatbot at all. 16%, which is the green blocks of people, they actually use the free chatbots like ChatGPT and something like that. Then we get up to a 0.3% of people, mostly, that actually pay for a $20 subscription plan to use these tools. And then the most shocking part of it all is the builders of this new agentic world that we're starting to live in is 0.04% of the population. And that is just a crazy statistic to see, that we're starting to live in a world that is so far divided between the people who've never even seen or used AI or been exposed to it, and then the builders of this new world is 0.04%. And that's just something crazy to think of. And we're so used to chatbots which just respond, like the ChatGPTs, the Claudes, and the Geminis. But as Tezira also mentioned, that agents act on our behalf. They can reason, they plan, they use tools, they delegate, and then they iterate. And in a nutshell, from an, let's say, a software development perspective, an agent is nothing other than just an application in which you combine AI models with tools, some sophisticated coordination system to achieve a desired goal. And if we pull back the curtain a bit on what's actually happening behind the technology, we see that the agent is basically just the sum of the LLMs, the tools, and they run in a loop. And the loop keeps running until the job is done. So we can define it in terms of a brain, the hands and feet, and then the nervous system, where the brains are the foundation models we have that examines the goals, breaks it down, decide the steps that it needs to take in order to achieve that goal. Then it can decide, okay, which API tools or integrations do I have access to, and connections that I can use. And then the orchestration layer processes this in a loop. And this loop goes from a thinking, let's say, a bubble where the agent perceives and reasons, where it gathers context from the goal, the tools, the memory that it have, and then it decides, do I have enough information just based on the query, or do I need to do something else? And then it goes into the acting stage, where we output a structured request. It's just basically a software tool that you use. Or you can kick off parallel agents that can do something for you, and then we observe the result. We put that result back into the context, and now the context has grown again. So these tools that we mention is none other than just code that executes, where we define a tool, we give it a name, something like web search, we give it a proper description, and we define what the input is, what do we need, what is the variables in the software development world. And basically what the AI model does is it creates what we call a JSON response. And this JSON response, we have something like a decoder of the JSON payload. Then we can extract what the tool is that needs to be used. We can see what the variables are, and we just pass it to normal software functions. And then the functions and the code executes, and the model sees the results, and the loop runs again. And all of this happens in either working memory of the AI agent that we call the context window, which is the fast, let's say, bounded memory that the agent has access to now, and it fills up with each interaction that we use. And this is how, what we call the context window. And then the new thing that we're looking into these days is giving agents something like we humans have, like long-term memory, where in a specific moment in the day, the AI agent or the software tools that we have process the daily interactions, store it in some other database, and this gives the agent, let's say, long-term memory of how we've interacted with it over time. But anyway, as we build all of these software tools, we always need to design for failure in mind, since these AIs can fall apart, and they fall apart in predictable ways most of the time. And one of the things is it might never converge onto a specific answer, so it can loop forever, but we can put a cap on the iterations. It can sometimes hallucinate a tool and think that there is a tool and come up with some tool that's not there, but we can catch that. Context bloat, if the brain gets too full, then it sort of loses track of what's happening, and then you can get cost surprises, because each loop costs a lot of money if you don't set budgets or alerts on your usage. And then what we can do to make it impactful and for us to build some of these systems for these AI tools to use, we have some foundations that needs to be in place, well-documented processes and standard operating procedures. We need to have let's say, defined data and centralized clean data source, and then very curated tools and crisp descriptions of our tools. We need to put in some guardrails like identity and access management, with giving the agent only a specific scope and what it's allowed to do, what not, keep a human in the loop. And as I've seen on social media, people give their AI tools like delete rights to wipe databases, never do that. And then yet again, always have backups, audit logs, and stuff like that. And then what we see in industry these days, some of the protocols and interfaces that are starting to develop. So if you would like to build some of your own tools, is look at MCP, which is the model context protocol, which basically allows you to plug in your tools into an AI system. The other one is the agent-to-agent protocol, where you have inter-agent communication that takes place. A new development is something that we call an agentic naming service. For those of you in computer science would know about DNS or computer networks, where we have a domain name service currently for websites to look up. Now we can look up agent capabilities and discover them. And then also we give agents the ability to handle payments for us. And that is where we have the agent payment gateway. So the last question that I just want to leave with you as we continue is, how will you build for a world where AI agents are your primary consumer of your services and most probably not humans anymore? So that's something to ponder on. And then, yeah, so that's the end of my discussion.
Mr. Blackie, unbelievable, unbelievable. As you were talking, I was just thinking about this idea. We talk about individuals that are digitally native, digital native. Individuals who grew up in a time post-analog, and I just get this feeling like we're going to have a generation of individuals who will be AI native. They will grow up in an era where, the internet is almost irrelevant. It's an interaction between you and agents orchestrate that world. Just before we head towards our panel discussion, where we really get a chance to unpack some of the questions on my mind, and I think there's a lot of questions on other people's minds. You can pop the Q&A if you've got any questions. I think this is a good time for us maybe just to allow Prof McKenna to reflect a little bit for us and give us a little bit of additional things to think about. So maybe while you're just bringing up your slides, I can just introduce you quickly. So Prof McKenna runs several international projects focused on higher education as a public good. She has long researched questions of knowledge, what it does and which knowledge are silenced or sidelined. This lens means that she sees the worlds of Gen AI as both fascinating and terrifying. I have that same terrifying feeling sometimes, and new terrain, but also I see the fascination. She has won awards for her teaching, research, internationalization, and for a co-authored book on understanding higher education. So if I can hand over to you, Prof McKenna, and you can take us through AI agents and the knowledge project.
Great. Thank you so much, Terence, and to the whole ASSAf team. Well, you started, Terence, by saying that the panel's made up of perhaps hype men and pessimists, and Herman claimed the hype man status. I am going to probably, very sadly, claim the role of the pessimist. The previous speakers have already outlined what agents actually are and are not, so I don't need to repeat all of that. As they indicated, you put in a concern or a task. You don't even need to phrase it as a request into your agent, and they will use large language models and various other tools to determine the next steps, and then they actually act on them, thus the name agent. And they loop that. They do that through a series of loops. They do that through a series of loops. So at its core, an agent is, as Herman just said, a kind of a series of loops, queries, and actions. And that's already pretty impressive. But I'm not ready to call that intelligence in the human sense. Hannah Fry, and she's a mathematician, and if you don't follow her, you have that great thing to look forward to, because I think she's pretty phenomenal. And she has shown that these systems can't even outwit a very basic kind of AIRU robot capture. And that has led to this very bizarre reality that agents are outsourcing some of their activities to humans who have to need an embodied reality to enact them, including, and it costs around 2 Rand, asking a human being to fill in the captcha to allow the AI agent to continue with their task. I mean, they don't have the human failings of fatigue and frustration. They just simply don't give up. So, you know, if Home Affairs puts them on hold, they don't hang up after 25 minutes. If a municipality refuses to reply to an email, they don't give up. They keep sending the emails and finding other ways of getting through. But an absence of fatigue and frustration, I don't believe is necessarily intelligence. So what can they do for researchers? Well, we know already from the large language models, but increasingly using agents, they can do these enormous literature synthesis. They can retrieve, read, synthesize, they flag contradictions, they map citation networks, they identify gaps. I mean, it really is, if you're working in a huge interdisciplinary field where you're not an expert on all aspects, they really are an incredible boon. They can test hypotheses, they can generate hypotheses, they can do virtual testing of various materials. And we saw that recently with DeepMind's AlphaEvolve, sort of solving mathematical problems that haven't been able to be solved before. Last week, I was very lucky. A week before, I was at Vrije Universiteit in the Netherlands, meeting with some PhD scholars who were using AI agents to hypothesize and figure out how to break down the long protein strands that cause Alzheimer's. So really, I mean, mind-blowing stuff. And then for the ordinary social scientists like myself who are not working in a laboratory, they're still pretty cool because they, you know, they can analyze data, transcribe, track literature. They can write your entire document if you want them to. They can do grant applications. You know, you can load a grant application, tell it to draw on all your prior research, and it can fill in the entire application. It can identify potential colleagues that meet the criteria of the funders. It can write up a budget and all sorts of other wonderful things. But my own concerns, which come from my own research, mainly done with Nompilo Schumer, Neil Cram, Nicola Pallet and various others, is really about the knowledge project. So that's where my concern lies. What does all this mean for our understandings of knowledge? And I'm going to identify 5 interconnected threats that I see emerging from AI agents. And I'm going to have to talk very quickly to get through them in time. But before I jump into that, I want to raise a really important issue that as we move from someone who co-pilots the large language models that assist us to lab pilots, the AI agents that actually do the research, we need to consider where these are coming from. because a lot can go wrong. And already we heard from Herman about Peter Steinberger. His face was on one of his slides, who used OpenClaw to develop these AI agent and made it readily available. So these big tech companies that had already developed modern AI and refused to make it yet publicly available because they were so aware of the enormous threats. The moment Peter made it available, they couldn't resist the enormous funds, and they went ahead and did it. But we need to think very carefully about why this is being driven. It's being driven entirely by profit. And any of us who think that the big tech is driving it from a desire for scientific advances for the goodwill of people or the planet, you simply haven't watched enough interviews with the likes of Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, Jensen Huang, Elon Musk, and all those other people who are what can I say? A little bit mad, a little bit crazy, a little bit psychopathic. So what are my 5 big concerns about AI agents? Well, the first, let's jump straight into the first one. The first one is about the responsibility gap. So when an AI agent produces a flawed finding, a fabricated reference, a biased analysis, a spurious correlation, who's responsible for that when it gets out there in the world? And we know that this is not hypothetical, because we already, and the previous speakers alluded to this, we are already seeing agents delete thousands of emails. We're seeing agents use owners' signatures to sign legal contracts, to rack up enormous credit card debt. Who's responsible for the fallout? And what does that mean when our research ethics and integrity frameworks are all built on the assumption of responsibility in a human being? And I don't think we are thinking these things through fully enough. Hosseini, Murad, and Resnick, in their report just a couple of months ago, called this the responsibility gap. And they proposed that any research team needs to have an AI validator or validator or an AI guarantor who is responsible for overseeing all the actions of the AI agent and double checking all their outcomes. But this requires a kind of institutional will and funding that I'm not even hearing these conversations in our universities yet, so it worries me. Another big concern that I have is about de-skilling. And I know that this has been poo-pooed perhaps in some of the more techno-optimistic literature, but I think it's a real insidious risk. And that is that entry-level researchers, I'm talking about humans now, undertake very boring basic research tasks like coding transcripts, conducting literature reviews, writing first drafts, managing data. But in that process of doing those somewhat mundane tasks, they develop the tacit knowledge of their disciplines. They figure out what counts as knowledge, what counts as truth, what kinds of claims need evidence, and all of that kind of thing. And I worry that when agents take over these tasks, early career researchers might skip a very important induction into the knowledge-making norms that we hold so dear. And again, drawing on Hosseini, Murad, and Resnick's work, they say that eliminating these roles from humans could have wide-ranging and long-term adverse implications on the scientific workforce. Now, of course, it depends whether you care about the scientific workforce. Greengard found that knowledge workers who regularly rely on generative AI, this is before agents, have become increasingly confident, which is the antithesis of what a scientist is. A scientist hedges and says, in light of current information, we tentatively can conclude. But those who are relying on AI are already being found to be far more confident in their outputs and far more willing to hand over more and more of problem solving to AI. So I worry that this will take the humanity out of science with consequences for humanity. Third big concern, epistemic injustice. Whose knowledge gets amplified? We know that they are trained on an existing corpus of texts with a heavy privileging of a particular form, Global North English, published by the Big Five, following particular theoretical traditions. This is where my own research actually sits. It's on epistemic injustice in use of AI. And Kasirzadeh, I'm saying his name wrong, Kasirzadeh and Mohammed have a great paper on epistemic injustice, and they identify these 4 mechanisms you can see on the slide by which these large language models and increasingly agentic AI is systematically underrepresenting scholars of the Global South. Now, you might say our students are already using biased knowledge when they read any articles, because that is already privileged in Google Scholar. But this is at a scale that is far greater. Oh, I can hear my time is almost up, so let me rush along to the next one. Knowledge homogenization, that really draws on the same problem, that we are going to all start increasingly framing problems in the same way, synthesizing literature in the same way, intellectual diversity narrows, and that's nothing to say about the environmental cost. You know, large language models use enormous amount more than a Google search did, although now, of course, Google searches use it too because it's embedded, but our agents use that by a huge amount even more. So we really risk homogenizing knowledge at the cost of the planet. My final point is the verifiability problem I've already alluded to. How do we know how the agents got to their answers? A lot of it's black box kind of stuff, and a lot of the actual developers of these agents admit that they don't know how the results are achieved. And we're already seeing humans in academia abusing this terribly with using agents to do their reviewing, to do their writing, and so on. So, sorry, in closing, I am over time. I don't think we can resist AI. I don't think we can resist agents. They're here to stay. I think that ship has sailed. But I really think we should be calling for something that's actually much harder than resistance. I think we need to ask the very important questions about which research tasks should and should not be automated. We need to ask questions about what happens when our students automate everything that they need to do. We need to decide what the knowledge project is actually for, who does it serve, what is the point of all of us academics doing research in the first place. And this is not just a technical question. This is deeply political and ethical question. And it worries me that universities are leaving these questions to big tech with their profit interest, and that they are not actively engaging in the ethics behind AI agents enough. Over time, but I thank you.
Don't worry, we like a little bit of overtime, yeah. Thank you very much for that discussion. It's kind of like we went through this phase of the end of truth at the dawn of generative models. And I fear that now, with humans sort of even being replaced as the actors in the world, we're going even beyond the end of truth. It's almost, you know, the items you're bringing up are going to signal an end of science in some ways. We're going to struggle to understand who did the science and if it even was real, and what was the motive behind that. So certainly some of these things are frightening, but I think this brings us to our next part. We have our panel discussion. Do you mind if all of you put on your screens? I think that would be nice on our panel, so we can see all of you. Yes, excellent. Now I feel like Herman is probably thinking that you might have gone too far. And so I would maybe like to give over to him to maybe just reflect a little bit on some of the items that have been raised so far.
Awesome, thank you, Prof. Terence. Yeah, so I really enjoyed your discussion now on highlighting the concerns or highlighting all these challenges. And I think one of the things that I try to ask myself these days is, AI really came and disorient so I feel totally disoriented in this new world. I feel like I'm always, you know, when you're standing in a pool on something like those pool stuff that's floating and you try to balance on top of that thing. And I think this entire world feels to me these days like that. It feels like I'm constantly in this pool, there's waves, and I'm trying to find my balance on these strange floaty thing. And I think the AI world created that for me. And now the challenge is, in how can we start to engineer and design systems for this new world that we live in? How can we acknowledge the risks and the challenges as well and the concerns, but then how can we develop the tools or the structures that we can teach the new students or the new employees or the upcoming generation, and how to not be the Oppenheimers of this world that go and use this tech to build atomic bombs, but either how can we harness the other possibilities, like let's say try to build fusion reactors to generate energy. And I think this is always the tension that I always keep in my mind. And I think there's always an advantage, a benefit, and a trade-off when it comes to all of this. And I think I might be also a hype man, but I'm also really much let's say balanced in my view, that I know, yeah, we really need to think hard of how we and when do we unleash these tools onto humanity. And I really like one of the things that Google DeepMind's Dennis Hassabis, what he said in one of the interviews. He said he wished that AI stayed a bit longer in the lab so that they could build more tools like AlphaFold. But Sam Altman's greediness really went out and unleashed a new world onto us. And I kind of agree with Dennis on this matter, but I really also like using AI coding tools these days. They really bring me joy.
I hear you. Before I allow you to respond, Prof McKenna, because I think you would like to, I would just like to ask Ms. Wanyana, the feeling I get is we're hearing the sense that this is a new world, but something I kind of felt from you was that maybe this is not such a new world. We were on the same exponential. Multi-agent systems existed before. They're now calling it agentics. Like, is there really something new? Should we all of a sudden be scared? Or is this just the path we've been on? Maybe you can reflect on the other two speakers to set us. Should we be optimistic or pessimistic? Yeah, where are we? You're muted.
Thank you, Professor Terence. I have been thinking about some of these things for a while now. And personally, I'm not scared. Maybe one thing that I just want to know, which I haven't read about or looked into, is whether maybe we shall hear more about it, but I don't know whether expert groups and all these ethical agencies are actually providing any guiding principles, because it seems like agentic AI has brought some form of nightmare at the moment that we probably haven't seen before. And this is because people, jumped onto the wagon so quickly, like it has been rightly said. And so personally, I am not scared. I see the benefits of what agency can do, especially in serious domains like healthcare. Maybe what I would want to say is that we retain the level of responsibility that we've had, even in other traditional AI, when traditional AI techniques were rolled out. So I think that is where we are going to be. Keep staying responsible, delegate some of the tasks to the AI, and maybe new tasks will actually even come up that maybe some of the domains are going to evolve in the way, if we are talking science, in the way that they do science. So yeah, I think there is at the moment not really a lot to be scared about.
So we got two people who don't think that we should be scared right now. Pretty excited. I don't know. I think I'm with them on some level. I'm pretty excited. I feel the fear as well. But maybe Prof McKenna, you can just reflect a little bit on that.
Yeah, I'm very scared. I am very scared if universities, and I want to specify universities and organizations, scientific organizations, as opposed to big tech. If universities and other intellectual organizations step up and play their common good role, I think we'll be okay. That's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing big tech driving the entire agenda. They have very little incentive to put guardrails in place, and we've already seen the futility of most of the current guardrails. I'm sure you're following the story of the court cases around, at least 2 court cases so far, where large language models very clearly gave instructions to their user to commit suicide. We are seeing agents being used. That all you have to do is threaten the agent that you'll turn it off. And there's some great studies that have shown what happens when an agent is threatened with being turned off, with having the plug pulled, and how it will then completely override its guardrails. It'll hand over your details to hackers and so forth. So all of this is not some kind of worry about a future. This is happening here and now. So I am deeply worried. I wouldn't be worried if universities stepped up. And I also wouldn't be worried if all of these amazing advances, which can drive our understanding of people and the planet, of medicine, of all sorts of scientific breakthroughs in unbelievable ways, I wouldn't be as worried if these were being brought into a society that really valued human flourishing, that took care of the vulnerable, that saw ourselves in communal understanding ways. But that's not the world in which this is being advanced. So I think we also need to link this to our economic and political systems, that generative AI and these agents are being handed out in a very individualistic, zero-sum, hyper-capitalist world. And so, you lose your job, who cares? It's not my problem. Oh, you don't have any money to buy food, you're starving on the street, who cares? That's not my problem. In a different kind of political environment, a different kind of economic environment, it would be amazing if we were all unemployed. We could sing and write poetry and walk by rivers and do all those incredible human things that we very rarely can do because we're too busy working. But I don't think that's the reality. So to end off my rather roundabout talk or comment, it's about our intellectuals stepping up to their responsibility around guardrails, around care, around compassion, and around holding big tech to account for the terrible effects that some of these agents are already bringing to us.
Maybe I think we have 2 academics right here with us, both of them from universities. What's your feeling on that? I think that's a good point. Are we responding correctly here? Who would like to take that? Blackie? Yeah, go for it, please.
Thanks. So from our engineering faculty's perspective at Northwest University, we have spent a lot of effort into thinking, how do we empower the next generation and to prepare them for this new world? Because AI will not go away. There's no way that a Pandora's box is opened, and now we have to deal with the monsters that climbs out of this thing. And now the question is, me as an educator, my responsibility now is in all my lectures and all my classes from the engineering side, I need to teach my students how to use it ethically. I need to empower them also, because industry is asking for these skills. The companies at the conferences and the places I go to, they're asking, okay, who do I employ? Who is the new student that I need to get to join my team? And the question is not, okay, I need to hire less students because I can do it, but they ask, okay, who can I hire that come and help me build these tools and these future, let's say, solutions to our problems? So now this is a massive tension for us, but that's why we don't shy away, but we rather model and demonstrate how us use these tools properly, effectively, and how from engineering perspective, it's a professional career as well. So we need to be registered something like at ASSAf as professional engineers. And as professional engineers, you need to have a specific standard unto which you need to comply with in terms of what you do as an engineer. And I think that is just our responsibility, is to teach that, to model that, and to show the students how that work without shying away, but to be very, very on guard as to the dangers and the challenges, but we can't run away from this, because this thing will eat us up alive if we don't face it. And I think the best way for us is to jump into the world to discover. And the more we know, the more we discover, the more I see I get my hands dirty in these tools, the more I can be an advocate for either the good and the bad as well, because I can see what's happening inside the box. And therefore, me as the researcher can do the proper work to educate the people at conferences or at our students gatherings or whatever. Now to think through these challenges and this new world we found ourselves in, but I think that's our perspective a bit, and how we approach that.
Ms. Wanyana?
I agree entirely, but
You
also
agree with who? I don't know.
but also yeah, no, I agree with Herman, but also I just wanted to say something about what exactly AI reflects. So when we say things like goals, the goals are definitely coming from us. The biases that are reflected in there are coming from us. Everything that is bad in there comes from us. So I don't want to start a conversation about us working on ourselves before we let AI out there. Because the agent that you give a goal, that is entirely your goal. It is not the goal of the agent at the end of the day. And so whatever domain you try to deploy these agents in, it's definitely going to be entirely you that is responsible for whatever the agent is doing.
I hear you. I hear you. It's that guns don't kill people, people do, but I don't know if that's entirely certain. We've got a set of questions from our audience, and I do want to touch on them a little bit. I think, Prof McKenna, you'll be able to respond to the panelists and answer the questions at the same time. One of the questions is how does this change the academic landscape? How does this AI change our academic landscape? Maybe you can just respond to the question.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'm going to respond to that question by totally agreeing with Herman's point about critical AI literacy, and that has to be a fundamental part of our jobs, all of our jobs. At the moment, I see universities responding in two ways, and I found both of them somewhat problematic, or at least narrow. The first way, which is the dominant way, is really around academic integrity. So we spent a lot of energy saying, if you use AI, we're going to catch you, we're going to punish you. It didn't work with plagiarism. I don't know why we think it's going to work with AI, that response. It totally destroys the pedagogical relationship. But that seems to be where most of our energy is being spent. I keep hearing academics saying, I've got to design an AI-proof assignment. I'm like, dude, that ship has sailed. So it really worries me that that's where we're spending our energy. I think that doesn't help our students at all. The other response that I see is domestication, which is industry is going to require you to use AI, so we need to train you to use AI, and I think that's a bit of a better response, but I still think it's a partial one, and that's why, as I say, I really agree with Herman's critical AI literacy. We can't run away from AI; it's here to stay, and the more we know, the more we can advocate for ethical use. But it's got to go beyond just how to use it in cost-effective and profit-enhancing ways. It's got to really grapple with what does it mean to use AI in ways that are cognitive offloading? What does it mean to rely on AI that may introduce hallucinations and botshit? What does it mean to and to pick up on Tezira's point about the biases, it's not just that the biases are inherent in the training data and now they are being escalated at scale, but it's more than that. It's the system prompts, and I think that's important. It's way beyond the training data. The system prompts that require, or unless you are really good, and many of us have done this, try and tweak the way in which Claude or others respond. Your system prompt is one of absolute confidence and doubling down on errors. That's the default in the system prompting, and we need to get critical AI literacy amongst our students to help them to put in place the kinds of prompting that will prevent that kind of stuff from emerging, because I think that's what critical AI literacy looks like. It's going back to fundamental questions. What is knowledge? Who's it for? Who does it serve? And what does that mean for how you use AI?
So I'm hearing ostrich approach is not the approach here. We've got to get the head out the sand, and we've got to face this as academia. We've got to face it in our research. It just frightens me, this idea that the actual research we're producing is being littered with references. And even when the reference isn't fake, it could actually be a reference to the wrong article, so that the whole network is corrupt of what we know, and the network of knowledge that we have. It's something that does frighten me a bit. Anyone else want to respond to that? Or I've actually got some other little questions here that people are interested in. Maybe Mr. Blackie, someone has asked about what tools are you using? Something a little bit lighter. Yeah, let's a little bit lighter for a moment.
Oh, nice. So basically, my workflow is these days I live either in OpenAI's Codex or Claude Code. Those are my two. When I hit my usage limits by a Wednesday on Claude, I jump over to Codex to work for the rest of the week. Anyway, so that's that. As also being a hype man, I'm also so paranoid for using something like Claude Cowork or some of these agents that use my desktop and click for me and do stuff like that. I'm like, it freaks me so out when I do software development and the AI coding agent would actually open up a web browser. It would go and click and test the app that you're building. And I'm like, no, just stop. You freak me out. Don't do that. It feels like a hacker taking over my computer. So that's why I'm always just leaning into, I want to build the code. Give me the code agent. Give me Codex. Give me Claude Code. And that's where I live 24/7.
Wanyana, what you got there? What you got in your toolbox?
Majorly Cloud Code, and lately I have been preparing my material using Docusaurus. So I'm actually using Cloud Code to make all my Docusauruses. It has actually saved me a lot of time, and the material is very accessible for all my students. Yeah.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Personally, I'm a traditionalist. I'm trying to avoid using Agentic AI to do my work for me. No, it's not entirely true.
Can I jump in with a political comment? Well, we're 3 out of 3 for Claude and Claude's various tools, and totally agree with Herman's point about not letting it take over your desktop. And it's so easy to allow that to happen. But I'm going to make a political statement here, which you may not all agree with. But please, 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 if you're using ChatGPT, just stop. Just stop. Please go on to Quit GPT and have a look at how it is funding us. It is funding the use of automated machinery, weaponry. I will stop here because not everyone's going to agree with me. But ChatGPT, please have a look at its relationship to Palantir and just have a look at what evil it's doing in the world.
Okay, I hear you. We do need to always make sure that those techno bros don't. You're right. They're a little bit insane. They're quite insane, actually. I agree with that fact. We've got a few other little questions here. One of them is, I don't know who's willing to take this one. I'm going to put it out there. When does AI replace us? Anyone want to put it on the line? Put a date there. Any takers on this?
I think we're not yet there. We're not yet there. It's not about to overtake us, even when it looks very promising at the moment. If you look at things like thinking fast and slow, system 1 and system 2, you find that things like dynamic attention, weighing trade-offs, and things like that. Yeah, maybe anticipating some consequences. Those things have not yet achieved and have not yet been achieved. And I think right now we're still focusing on just, even if it looks broad right now, truth be told, there's still narrow tasks. So we are not yet there. Yeah.
It's actually sometimes quite difficult for us as humans to assess how difficult it is to do a task. But and that is sometimes how we overestimate capabilities of other things. We've got one other question here. It's an interesting question because we've touched on this idea now. And so I'm interested to see who's willing to take this one on. It's, what does human oversight really mean? What are we, when we're talking about guardrails, when we talk about these things, what are we I've got the wrong word there, placate the masses? Or is there really a true notion that we have in our head of what does human oversight really mean? Is anyone willing to take that?
Yeah, I will do my
okay, good.
to take my chances on this. I know one of the ways that I think about this is I see an AI agent in, let's say, an enterprise system or in a software tool that you're building or whatever, as a user or a consumer of the system. So for me is I would define the roles, the access, the scope that this user has access to and can do or can't do. The same way that I would approach it for a normal human or employee that you have in your company. And therefore, on a system level, on a code writing level, I usually I try to coin it as the code is the law, basically. So the AI agent cannot override what the code that you've written with the actual programmatic guardrails that you build into the system. Can't override that. So that is how I think of keeping the human in control and the human in the loop. And I know it kind of defeats then this whole notion of a fully autonomous agent that you just totally release. But I don't think we are ready nearly as well for that. Even though the capabilities are there, the adoption is lagging so far behind. And I know for me specifically is build the systems and see the agent as a user of it, and that's the way that I contain it.
Wanyana, you've got any feelings on what does this human oversight really mean that we keep talking about?
When I say human oversight, for me, I see responsibility. I see gatekeeping. For cases where we have agent output and maybe continued sequential processing, whereby that same output is supposed to be processed by another agent and things like that. I see humans coming in and accepting or agreeing to what is going on. And like Herman says, I indeed see the human in the loop and the human on the loop and the human everywhere in the loop. Yeah.
Prof McKenna?
Yeah, I think I would agree with everything that's been said around having some kind of oversight. I do think we need stronger guardrail legislations, which includes environmental legislation. And I think that legislation needs to be very specific about when the big tech itself is responsible, because at the moment, like so many other forms of technology, it's always the end user who is held responsible. And many end users are ignorant, are naive, by the hype that comes in the marketing, and they need to be protected. I do think we need to have a very, very clear legislation around where responsibility lies when things go wrong. And I think it's a cop-out for these big companies to always say, you know, you signed the terms and conditions. So yeah, I would like to see much stronger legislation around that.
And maybe one more thing, Professor Terence. While we're working with agents and AI systems, we need to realize that we need to have a common understanding, common semantics of, we need to have the same understanding of what the agent is understanding the situation to be. If it's data, we have to make sure that we see it the same way the agent is seeing it. Otherwise, the agent is going to take its own direction and we shall be thinking it has all the context. And so there's need for us to always make sure the agent has captured everything that we are thinking. At the moment, we have a lot of tacit knowledge. We have a lot of things that we keep to ourselves and expect the agent to deliver accordingly. And then when the agent starts to go the other way, we start to worry and we say, oh, it has its own brain and executing things that I haven't told it to. But it's because we have a lot of knowledge, both explicit and tacit, that we need to give to the agent for it to be able to deliver accordingly.
Yeah. Although, if I may, that assumes that the user has that tacit knowledge, and that is, I mean, I totally agree with you, Tezira. I'm not disagreeing with you here, but when you have novice users, and here again, I'm thinking about students using agents, they are unable to know what they don't know, and that's where, you know, they get themselves caught in getting responses that are at odds with our reality, or that can lead them in really problematic ways. So that's why I mean, it's, again, goes back to critical AI literacy, that if you are using, whether it's a large language model or whether you're using an agent to do a task that you yourself don't understand, then you're in trouble. And we need to make sure that make sure that critical citizens, i.e. our students, are equipped to understand that that you shouldn't be using AI to do stuff that you don't have a clue how to do yourself.
Yeah, that's
interesting. Thank you. I have one question I'm interested in, but before I go there, this is quite an interesting question we have from in the chat. I kind of can frame it a little bit for you guys. I guess it's talking to a little bit about this post-truth world that we find ourselves in. But the question is, how do we protect human-generated digital content in this world? Like, how do we? Is that something we need to be protecting? Like something that was exclusively written by a human, that we know this is our product, as opposed to something generated by an agent? Anyone have any responses to, ever thought about that? Sort of this notion of knowledge that is human knowledge, as opposed to a proof that was generated by a computer, or maybe Herman, code that was generated by a human versus code generated by an agent. Should we be protecting that? Should we concern ourselves with it?
It's a strange way to think of it, because what I see in my mind is what the AI agents are sort of producing is what they got from us to a certain extent. And now they're just reiterating what they got from me initially, and now it's just represented in a new way and mixed up. But the thing is, me personally, I'm not so sentimental with regards to differentiating between whether I write an article or not article, when I write, let's say, a blog or a paragraph, versus the AI to help me, for example, to phrase what I wanted to communicate a bit better. Because whether I go to Grammarly to start off with the initial idea and the AI helped me to refine it. Okay, so I see it as this collaborative, let's say, artifact that has been generated. And I think maybe in the arts or music specifically, that and that can be a other type of question where I think there's a bit more to it than just writing code and whatever. But at the end of the day, I really don't know how we should think of this. I still also struggle with that notion. I don't enjoy listening to AI generated music. I would rather go and listen to something else. But yeah, I really don't know.
Maybe maybe while you're responding, can I just ask the audience if there's anyone who has a question they would like to pose themselves? We would be very excited. I think the panelists would love to hear from you, hear your questions directly and respond. And so please just put up your hand if you've got a question there, and we'll prioritize you. You can be moved to the top of the list. Yes, did someone else want to respond to this human? There we go. We've got a Mututa. So Mututa and then Zico. So we have two questions, but maybe was it McKenna or Wanyana who wanted to respond?
It was me. It was me.
Yes, please, Wanyana. So you respond, and then we have two questions from the audience.
Okay. So I was saying that the last time I checked, if you write an academic article, and they stand to be corrected, you do not put AI as one of the authors. You can acknowledge that you used AI and how you used AI. Now I'm talking about academic articles because that's a place that I am comfortable in. And so you will not say, I wrote this with some agent and maybe give the agent's name as one of the authors. You will just say, I used AI, maybe at the end of the paper, and maybe state how you used AI. So at the moment, we have not yet transferred full responsibility of what we are seeing there to agents, AI agents. We are still in an era where a human has to be responsible for what they prompt. So if you wrote the prompt at the moment, it's still your work until maybe one day we think, okay, agency or AI agents have become part of us in a different style, so we should accord them some individual credit. But for now, you're still responsible. So you can't generate content, put it out there, it's offensive, and then you distance yourself from it. Yeah.
I hear you. Okay, Adams, please go ahead. Let's ask the panel.
Right, thank you so much for the conversations. I'm really intrigued. And I have been for some time now interested in this area of, okay, I need to start my video, I think. Okay, so I have been for some time really interested in these discussions of AI and especially in academia. And what appears to me to be an issue now is even listening to this conversation here, we all agree that AI is doing great, but I think it is optimized for other roles rather than where we are trying to apply it, specifically in academic. And the reason I say this is because when it replaces our thinking, which is clearly it does that, when it replaces our thinking, then we cannot claim to be actually and advancing intellectually. So when I have students, postgraduate students, some of them have tried to use AI. Someone will go to ChatGPT, put a prompt, get a topic, a possible research topic from there. Then they can use the topic, take it to Microsoft Copilot. They say, can you give me a structure for this? Then you can get a structure from Microsoft Copilot. You will use that structure, put it in another AI platform, do like that. And so my worry is always that even though I can produce a paper in that way successfully using series of prompts and also editing out the errors that come up, what has just happened to me? I have lost my sense of thinking because I do not have originality. I only rely on creating a prompt. It's like asking directions the same way we are using Google Maps, for example. I can go to a place I don't know, and it don't mean I master the route. It means that I am using the information that is supplied to me. And
Let's
so,
see if we can get the panel to respond to your question there.
yeah, thanks.
Anyone want to respond?
Can jump in?
Yeah,
As a
please.
start? Yeah, I think what's really important for us to talk about is what universities value. And I would perhaps a little controversially suggest that most universities value performativity rather than substance. So to get promoted, you need publications. It matters less what those publications are about, what impact they have in the world, what meaning they bring to our understanding. What matters more is the number of publications and possibly, depending on your institution, what impact factor the journal has or stuff like that. What matters in terms of our students is, did they perform in their assessments? Not have they learnt, have they interrogated, are they able to reproduce? Now, obviously, a good assessment does check for all those things, but most of our assessments are actually checking for performance of memorization, possibly understanding, but generally memorization of particular canons of knowledge. So the way in which the university is increasingly set up means that any student who doesn't use generative AI to assist them with their assignments, any academic who doesn't use generative AI to write their articles for them, has basically misunderstood the rules of the game. Because, and I know I am being controversial here, but just to make my point a little bit hyperbolic, if the university is rewarding performance and not giving much care to substance, anyone who doesn't perform appropriately has missed the rules of the game. So we need to, perhaps before we worry too much about AI, whether agential or otherwise, we need to be going back to the very big questions about what does it mean to get a higher education? What does it mean to have a personal transformational relationship to knowledge? What do we do as educators to try and instill the value of intellectual cognitive work? What do we do as researchers to genuinely make an impact in the world? And those conversations are not very much in evidence in our meetings, in our faculty board meetings, our senates, or in our reward systems. So I think that in many ways, generative AI is actually exposing a kind of problem that pre-existed it. And so, yeah, of course our students are using it. That's what we've taught them.
Awesome. Yeah, so true. Could I ask Milan McBrand or Zanette Jansen, would you like to ask a question? I see you have some questions in the chat.
Hi.
There we go. Milan, how are you doing?
Doing well, and yourself?
Please fire away at us.
Lovely, thank you. I just have a question regarding who essentially becomes accountable in higher education institutions, since they are not usually the developers of these tools and applications, but they are the deployers of it. So there's multiple people within the institutions that brings these applications into use, explores the use of the applications, and then ultimately decides to deploy it. What if unintentional harm comes to the student or the staff? Who takes responsibility for that? Thank you.
Wanyana, any thoughts?
I'm
Who's
thinking
ultimately
about it.
responsible?
Yeah, I don't think at the end of the day, the designer of the tool is who is going to be responsible for the output that you generate. I feel like the user has to be responsible. And so whatever output that you generate from any of these tools, you have to be able to go back to it as an academic, run through it, and indeed believe that this is what you want to tell the world. And if that's not the case, there is no point you putting it out there. The moment it goes out there, regardless of the tools you use, you can't call up OpenAI and say, guys, you're responsible for this. I hope I did not misunderstand the question.
No, I think you got it right. I think some of us might say there should be shared responsibility, but certainly as the user of a tool, with some responsibility must lie with you. Okay, Zanetta, I think it is. Is that correct?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you to the panel. It's such an interesting, absolutely interesting presentations and discussion. I'll try to repeat the question I put in the question section. So we do live in a financially, driven world, and cryptocurrency is making I don't understand cryptocurrency at all, but my question had to do with that 80% of the world population that are not even using AI. Will there be any kind of ethical or counter technology, do you foresee that being put in place by, at the moment, governments or ethical agencies to protect that 80% that are possibly, they don't have the financial or the knowledge prowess to participate in this developing world? Thank you so much.
Wow, I don't know who wants to take that one.
I can say one or two things. The first is that earlier I recommended that everyone follow Hannah Fry, the mathematician. I'd now like to recommend that you follow Stephen Sidley, who's actually a professor at UJ, and he has a fantastic blog. He's got a book that's just come out on cryptocurrency, but he's really looking at the intersection of AI and society generally. But he certainly looks at how that intersects with cryptocurrency, which is way above my pay grade. But I definitely think that we need to think about that 84%. And so, of course, the user is responsible, but I want to pick up on Terence's idea of shared responsibility. And I think that it can't just rest with the individual user. It can't rest entirely with the university who selects to make available certain tools or others. But I do worry that South African universities just love bells and whistles and don't necessarily bring the criticality that they would bring to their research topics to decisions about which kinds of software should be made available to their staff, including now AI agents, or what kind of training is needed to make sure that their staff use it. So I think that universities do bear some responsibility, but I definitely think that the designers of the agents do need to be held responsible too, and that's where national legislation, and let's not even open the door to the conversation about the embarrassment of South Africa's draft AI policy. But those of you who worked through that, you'll see that it really was very lacking in terms of conversation around guardrails. It just said that, Stellenbosch University is going to, I don't know, have a center for automated weaponry and who knows what else. But it didn't really speak about how we're going to protect the 84% of people in the world. And if we are not an individualistic, hyper-capitalist world, but actually a caring society, we would take concern for those 84% very, very seriously.
Thank you. I think we've sort of reached the end of our questions. I know there's other questions there, and I'm sorry that I didn't manage to get us to there. We have a conclusion coming up, and so we've just got a few more minutes here. I really just want to give our panelists an opportunity to maybe just say one or two sentences to close out. It's kind of arrest our fears or increase our fears, or if you want to be the hype man or the pessimist, the optimist in your last sentence, maybe we can just start with Herman Blackie there. You can just give us your last words to leave us with here.
Yeah, thanks everyone. This was amazing, and I really enjoyed having this discussion. And I think my last words would be approach it with confidence, this AI tools, and with curiosity, but also with a sense of responsibility. And yeah, so that's that.
Thank you so much. And Tezira, please give us some last words there of wisdom.
Feel free to explore. There are a lot of benefits. Very many enterprises, very many domains are realizing the fruits. Just do it responsibly and ethically.
Thank you. Prof McKenna, last words for us.
Yeah, I'd echo the previous speakers. Curiosity, I'd like to add skepticism, always asking questions about whose interests are being served. But of course, to all academics, we have academic freedom, and academic freedom is not just a right, it's a responsibility. So are we getting involved? Are we asking questions? I think, as Terence said earlier, sticking our head in the sand, it's too late for that, I'm afraid.
Thank you so much, guys. So this brings us to the end of our panel and Q&A. I know it was all just one big mash, but I thought it was very exciting, and I really enjoyed the discussion with all of you. Gives me the honor to hand over to Prof Aslam Fataar to just conclude for us. If I can just quickly introduce him before I hand over to him. Prof Fataar is Research and Development Professor in Higher Education and Transformation at Stellenbosch University and a member of the Academy of Science of South Africa. He's a former editor-in-chief of the South African Review of Education. He has authored or co-edited 14 books, published over 150 academic articles and chapters, and supervised 25 PhD students. So that's a lot of PhD students. His recent books include The Educational Pathways and Experiences of Black Students of Stellenbosch University and Cultivating an Ethics of Beauty and Excellency in Planetary Times. He currently leads the Dialogue, Democracy and Development Project, promoting cross-cultural and interfaith educational work for inclusive development and critical thinking. over to you, Prof Fataar.
Thank you
I
very
look forward
much.
to your conclusions.
Thank you. What an amazing set of a conversation. Mind-blowing, actually. I haven't made as many notes as I have in a long time. Thank you for the lively conversation. The provocative title got us going. It is a bit charming, but of course it's unsettling. I want to make three kinds of comments: conceptual, methodological, and maybe attitudinal, if I may. The discussion today made one thing clear, I think. We have moved beyond AI as a tool, as what is called agentic AI, that awaits for a prompt. Gen AI, generative AI. We are now into agentic AI that takes us into a terrain where systems can coordinate tasks and execute our actions and observe, etc. And as Tezira Wanyana explains, these systems integrate generative capabilities into what she calls, and what the literature calls, cloud loop architectures. They're goal-directed, adaptive, multi-step systems built on LLMs, and connected to tools that allow them to act. And I think we've got to just kind of grasp where we are in regard to these tools now. But I think that this should neither push us into panic nor naive celebration. This is the attitudinal point I'm making. Our first scholarly responsibility, I think, is to just a little bit suspend premature judgment just long enough for us to see the phenomenon clearly. You know, if we go too hard with our values, perhaps that will foreclose what we may see. What is this thing? How does it work? Where is it embedded? What does it enable? What forms of dependency does it create? Tezira's technical clarity helps us begin there. There's basic questions, right? Herman Blackie helped us see the promise of these systems. Agents can work across applications, the data and personal workflows, and many of us are doing it. I prepared these notes based on working across these applications. They can assist with literature searches, organize tasks, solve problems, and so on. And for universities, there may be real benefit: improved productivity, better student support, adaptive systems, new forms of academic assistance, and so on. So we should not discount this kind of let's do it, techno-optimistic insight. Agentic AI can indeed be useful. It can extend human capability, but let's work with this human capability a bit more conceptually centering, in a more conceptually centering kind of a way. Because Herman indeed reminded us that AI is changing the academic landscape. His point about critical academic literacy is then underscored by the two other panelists is crucial. We can't simply teach people how to use tools. We must teach them how to understand systems, prompt responsibility, as Professor McKenna argues, verify outputs, recognize failure of systems, and judge what kind of knowledge is being produced. System prompting, that's what I'm calling it. I'm running off Professor McKenna's point. System prompting must become part of our academic literacy. It is not merely a technical skill. And we have to ask, are universities even beginning to think about doing this? So we have to ask questions at what knowledge is being called forth, from which sources, with what assumptions, and in whose interest. These are the kinds of questions that our critical literacy should be able to surface and train about and ask about. Sue McKenna pressed us into that deeper terrain. A warning is not that we should run away from AI. Well, of course we cannot. A concern is that we must not allow agentic AI to become a mechanism for what she calls cognitive offloading. Universities must learn to use AI in cost-effective, critical, and educational responsible ways, but the danger is not simply that agents will do tasks faster, which they will. The danger is that they may remove the struggle through which academic capabilities. Well, that is a key issue that we have to take on board. How does academic capability get formed? Because academic judgment is built through reading, searching, comparing, failing, patience, time, not compressing all of these things, interpreting, revising, etc. And as she argues, learning the tacit norms of a discipline, right? So that is what we give up when we move too quickly into this domain. If agents remove too much of this struggle, right, this real important academic studies, a reason for it, they may weaken the capacities that make scholarship possible. And here, Herman's point about keeping the human in the loop becomes vital. But the human cannot merely be a symbolic supervisor. The human must remain intellectually capable of judgment, and moving too quickly and too deeply and too unquestioning into the agentic AI domain means that we are suspending the processes by which we acquire intellectual judgment. That is why Sue's concern about the responsibility gap is so important. When an agentic system produces knowledge that circulates in the world, who is answerable for it? The user, or the developer, or the institution, or the funder, or the platform? So, as she says, guardrails matter. But what happens, in fact, my question, when, or what she also says, when agents bypass or undermine or operate beyond these guardrails? So you put the guardrails in place, but people are smartly using the agents in order to bypass them. Governance becomes an afterthought, doesn't think about that. It has to be built into the institutional design. Is it? Do we have these guardrails built into our university's institutional design? In the research ethics, in our assessment systems, in our procurement decisions, as has been argued? What are we buying? What kind of tools are we buying? How are we setting up our LMSs? What kind of academic critical literacy training are we doing? The ethical question is sharpened in our unequal world. This is an important point that gets made here. Agentic AI will not arrive on a playing field. It has not arrived on a playing field. It is not functioning currently on on a level playing field. Some institutions will indeed have powerful tools, clean data, technical support, and strong AI literacy. But most of our institutions in this country are facing weak infrastructure, expensive access, platform dependency, and limited capacity. And if universities then go on in that context to adopt agentic AI without confronting these structural inequalities that preceded it, they may indeed deepen what I call epistemic stratification, epistemic inequality. In my own work, I describe this as an epistemic reconfiguration of the university. That's what's going on here. Universities are losing its soul. It's losing its intellectual project. We are moving from tools to platforms to agents very uncritically. AI is becoming part of the infrastructure through which knowledge is produced, circulated, interpreted, and acted upon. So the deeper question is whether universities will retain their epistemic sovereignty, not hand it over to AI tools. Use it critically. By epistemic sovereignty, you can guess that I mean that the human and institutional capacity to interpret and to contest and to judge and to take responsibility for knowledge. That's what's on the table. Universities can use AI. They can learn with AI. They can benefit from agents, but they cannot outsource judgment, ethics, plurality, or responsibility. And I want to plea that if we run unquestioningly into this domain, we are going to be outsourcing the very processes by which we remain a university. And these are the processes that are important. So should we be scared, optimistic, or pessimistic? I would say we need a kind of disciplined hope, not fearfulness, not hype, not refusal, not surrender. Disciplined hope means technical understanding, ethical governance, critical academic literacy, and a commitment to the public good, and the university's commitment to the public good. Let me conclude by saying that this is where ASSAf has an important role. South Africa needs sober, multidisciplinary, publicly trusted spaces like this one that we've just had, where these questions can be addressed without panic and without naive optimism, and with that engenders a space of listening, a space of convergence, a space of synthesis, because we're speaking across wide varieties of disciplines, right? Disciplines have certain kinds of behaviors. Some run in this direction, others run in the ethics direction, others run in the critical knowledge direction. We have to build a kind of a trust where we are going to suspend a sense of our own bravado and our own lack of ability. We've got to kind of find, because South Africa needs sober, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary, publicly trusted spaces where these questions can be addressed without panic and without naive optimism. So in conclusion, we need Tertius clarity about the architecture. We need Herman's insistence on literacy, guardrails, and design with failure in mind. We need Sue's warning about responsibility, de-skilling, and the future of the knowledge project. The task before us is not simply to adopt agentic AI. It is to shape it democratically, educationally, and ethically. And our responsibility is to preserve human judgment, conceptual struggle, epistemic plurality, very important point that Sue made about losing or homogenization in our knowledge system, preserving public trust and the capacity to know wisely and ethically. Thank you very much, colleagues.
Thank you so much for that. If I may, I hand over to our host to close out for us.
Thank you very much, Terence. I must say, I'm feeling like that actor that has just received an Oscar, and I'm walking up to the podium, and I'm taking the mic and I'm receiving the mic, and I'm looking sort of, inwards and outwards as to what has just happened the last 2 hours. So really, there are a lot of people to thank, and I really want to thank you, Terence, for taking us through this whole exercise so light-heartedly, but very considerate, and navigating between questions, panels, and really just the discussion as such. Thank you very much for being part of this discussion. And then I really would like to thank our panelists. Panelists, you cannot doubt yourselves after this. You can see all the comments that is following in the chat box. Thank you very much for differing, but also bringing us back to what we should consider in this very difficult sort of theme of agentic AI and what it could bring about for us, especially in research and in services, etc. Asking the real questions. Thank you very much for that. Professor Fataar, I couldn't do it better. Thank you very much for bringing everything together. I think that was an incredible sort of sealing and the discussions that we actually had in this 2 hours. Thank you very much for so eloquently just wrapping up and bringing everything together. And then, of course, to our participants, thank you very much for the fantastic questions and keeping the debate alive. It was so interesting just to sit back and to see what is being said and what's being answered and what goes through your mind, I must say. So thank you very much for that. And then, of course, this cannot happen without what I now for the moment call our content team. He did not feature today, Martin. Thank you very much for always coming up with these nice areas and themes for us to discuss. Please keep your creative juices flowing. Please never close that tap. And then thank you also to Terence and to Tommy Meyer that also hops in and out and advises here from the side. Thank you very much. Last but not least, thank you very much to my team. Louise, for all the effort that you've put in. And then, of course, you saw also on the score, Renilwe, Ina, Linda, Nadia, everybody from my team that supports us here from the side. I do want to thank you very much, and I will close the meeting now. But I do have one request, and that is, please, if you have any themes for us to consider, because now already, I mean, the work has been done for this webinar, but now we have to think about our next webinar. And we're really moving from strength to strength. So please, my request, you drop us a mail and you give us some interesting, exciting, and thought-provoking themes for us to consider. I thank you very much and have a good one. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.